नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यम् श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यम् तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि. श्लोक 48. सहजं कर्म कौन्तेय सदोषमपि न त्यजेत् सर्वारम्भा हि दोषेण धूमेनाग्निरिवावृताः. सहजं कर्म कौन्तेय सदोषमपि न त्यजेत्. The sahaja karma, which is called swabhavaja karma, which is swadharma, sahajam sadosham api, even though it has some dosha, natyajet, do not give it up. One should not give it up. On this, there is a discussion. The discussion begins. In the discussion, we should imagine that a few people are sitting, not just two people. There is a madhyastha. Madhyastha means he is a moderator, anchor. In the TV debate, Republic TV debate, etc., there are anchors. And then there will be some people who, of course, this does not happen in TV debate. There are some audience who don't belong to any side. They will just make some opinion. They are called tatastha. So one is a madhyastha. Then there are one or two tatastha sitting. And then there is a siddhanti and purvapakshi. And purvapakshi also not necessarily one. There may be more than one purvapakshis. So there may be a purvapakshi of Sankhya, another purvapakshi of Vaisheshika, and one siddhanti. This is the scenario. So let us start. Let's start the debate. Bhashya. Kim asheshatah tyaktum ashakyam karma iti न त्यजेत क्यों वा सहजस्य कर्मणः त्यागे दोषः भवति इति. So this is a madhyastha. A madhyastha initiates a debate by throwing a question. Kim asheshatah tyaktum ashakyam karma iti na tyajet. So why one should not give up the karma? What is the reason on account of which Krishna says one should not give up karma? Asheshatah tyaktum ashakyam karma iti na tyajet. One should not give up karma because karma cannot be given up completely. Karma cannot be given up completely. Is this the reason for not giving up karma? Or kimva, or else सहजस्य कर्मणः त्यागे दोषः भवति iti. This is the reason. Sahajasya karmanah tyage, on account of giving up the sahaja karma, there will be dosha, there will be papa, iti na tyajet. Because of this reason, one should not give up karma. These are two possibilities. The madhyastha is giving two possibilities. Krishna says karma should not be given up. What is the reason? Is it reason number one? One cannot give up, therefore one should not give up. Or is it reason number two? If you give up, you in the reason number two, you can give up, but if you give up, it will create problem. So these two doubts are thrown by the madhyastha. Then a tatastha asks a question. A person sitting there is asking a question. Let's read. Kincha ataha, ataha kim prayojanam. Ataha, by discussing this, by inquiring this, ataha means asmad vicharat, from this vichara. Kim prayojanam, what is the prayojana? Then another tatastha, tatastha 2, makes the following statement. Yadi tavat asheshatah tyaktum ashakyam iti natyajyam sahajam karma evam tarhi asheshatah त्यागे गुण एव स्यात् इति सिद्धं भवति. So you can take it as a statement of the madhyastha or another tatastha. Tatastha 2. He says, yadi tavat, if asheshatah tyaktum ashakyam iti natyajyam sahajam karma, if the sahaja karma should not be given up because it cannot be given up totally, if that view is correct, means if the first view is correct, in that case, evam tarhi, in that case, asheshatah tyage gunah eva syat, giving up completely is going to be good. Asheshatah tyage, if it is given up completely, then gunaha eva syat, it will be good only, it will be a desirable thing, iti siddham bhavati. This gets established. Here we have to follow the line of thought. If the line of thought is missed, then you can listen to it again later on. I will continue because some people may miss the line of thought in the discussion. They can listen again. And if some people think it is not, it does not matter, then can ignore it. Ignorance is bliss. So, if karma cannot be given, therefore it should not be given up. If this view holds good, if this view stands correct, in that case it will imply that giving up the karma totally is a desirable thing. It is like telling someone, a patient, you cannot give up sugar completely. Therefore, you need not give up sugar completely. What does it mean? Giving up fully is desirable, but you cannot give up sugar completely. So, eat a little. So, this is Tatastha's understanding. So, he says, if the first view stands correct, in that case, it is implied that giving up the karma totally is desirable. Then Purvapakshi begins. Satyam evam अशेषतः त्यागः एव न उपपद्यते इति चेत् किं नित्यप्रचलितात्मकः पुरुषः यथा सांख्यानां गुणाः किं वा क्रियैव कारकम् यथा बौद्धानां पञ्चस्कन्धाः क्षणप्रध्वंसिनः उभयथापि कर्मणः अशेषतः त्यागः न संभवति. Purvapakshi says, Satyam evam. Purvapakshi is telling the Tatastha, what you are telling is correct. Means if karma can be given up totally, it may be desirable. But the problem is, karma cannot be given up completely at all. It is not possible at all. This is Purvapakshi's contention. So this is first Purvapakshi. Another Purvapakshi is going to come. This is one Purvapakshi. Purvapakshi 1. अशेषतः त्यागः एव न उपपद्यते इति चेत but अशेषतः त्यागः, giving up the karma completely, न upapadyate, it is not possible at all. This is one Purvapaksha. Karma cannot be given completely at all. Now Purvapakshi says there can be two views regarding the nature of karma. There can be two views regarding the nature of karma. The first one is Nitya Prachalitatmakaha Purushaha. A Purushaha, Purushaha means Atma. Atma is Nitya Prachalitatmakaha, means its nature is being ever active. Nitya, always being in action, always being in movement is the nature of Purusha, according to some philosophy. So Purvapakshi is saying, Kim Nitya Prachalitatmakaha Purushaha, whether a Purusha is Nitya Prachalitatmakaha, a Purusha's nature is always being in motion, always being in action. Yatha Sankhyanam Gunaha, just as the gunas of Sankhya, the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, accepted by the Sankhya philosopher, it is always in movement, it is constantly changing. The gunas do not rest during the Srishti. When they are in the manifest condition, the gunas are constantly changing. In the same manner, Purusha, the Atma, is Nitya Prachalitatma. Its nature is being active always. This is one view. Kimva, or else Kriya eva karakam, another view regarding the nature of action, another view regarding the nature of karma. Kriya eva karakam, action itself is the factors associated with action. See, in our understanding, action is different from the factors of action. The karta is different, karma is different, karana is different, and kriya is different. But then there are the Bauddhas, who are called the Kshanika Vijnanavadis. The Vijnanavadis, the Bauddhas, according to them, there is nothing called factors of action. Only actions are there. The actions appear as the factors of action. Means there is no karaka other than kriya. Because in their understanding, there are only kshanika vijnanas, momentary flickers of consciousness. They are the only thing that exists. There is nothing other than momentary flickers of consciousness. Therefore, they do not accept the presence of various factors of action like karta, etc. They say only the flickers of consciousness, their series, a series of flickers of consciousness forms all the factors, means makes all the factors appear. In reality, they are not there. In reality, only flickers of consciousness are there. Therefore, for them, there is no karaka other than kriya. Therefore, Purvapakshi says, Kimva kriya eva karakam, or else kriya itself is karaka. Action itself is the factors of action. Action itself is the karta also. Yatha, just as Bauddhanam panchaskandhaha, just like the panchaskandhas of the Buddha. The Buddha accepts five skandhas. Panchaskandha. It is a technical word in their philosophy, Buddhist philosophy. They accept five skandhas. Rupa skandha, vijnana skandha, vedana skandha, sanjna skandha, and samskara skandha. These are the five skandhas accepted by Buddha. These five skandhas, they are nothing but vijnana, they are nothing but consciousness. The same consciousness appears as five skandhas. The momentary kshanika vijnana. So panchaskandhaha, they are kshanapradvamsinaha. They come and go every moment. These skandhas are not stable, but they appear to be stable. Panchaskandhaha, which are kshanapradvamsinaha. The kshanapradvamsi five skandhas, they appear as Rupa, the object, and vijnana, the indriyas, the senses, vedana, pleasure, pain, etc., and sanjna, names, words, and samskara, the vasanas. All these are nothing but the vijnana. The vijnana alone appears as these. So, the idea is, according to them, only action is the factor of action. Here we are not getting into the details of Buddhist views. Bhashyakara is mentioning them just to give an example that some people do not accept the difference between action and factor of action. So, Purvapakshi presented two views regarding the nature of action. Number one, action is the nature of Atma. This is one view. Action is the nature of Atma. It is one view. And another view is action alone is everything. There is no Atma other than action. There is no other, there is no Karaka other than action. It is the view of Buddhas, and a few other philosophers perhaps. So, in one view, Atma is there, but action is the nature of Atma. Atma cannot stay without action. In another view, there is nothing independently called Atma. Action alone is there. Action alone appears as karta, karma, etc. It is another view. For this, the best example is Buddhas. So, this Purva Pakshi, for him, both of them seem to be okay. Ubhayathapi, in either views, if you take any of these two views, कर्मणः अशेषतः त्यागः न संभवति. Giving up karma completely is not possible in both these views. Because in the first view, action is the nature of Atma. Therefore, if action is stopped, Atma is gone. In the second view, only action is reality. Therefore, if action is stopped, nothing will be there. Therefore, in the second view also, first view and second view, karmanah asheshatah tyagah na sambhavati. Giving up of the karma completely is not possible. So now another Purva Pakshi comes into picture. Second Purva Pakshi comes into picture. The main Purva Pakshi here. Let's read. Atha Tritiyopi Pakshah Yada Karoti Tada Sakriyam Vastu Yada Na Karoti Tada Nishkriyam Vastu Tadeva Tatra Evam Sati Shakyam Karma Asheshatah Tyaktum Ayantu Asmin Tritiye Pakshe Visheshaha न नित्य प्रचलितं वस्तु नापि क्रिया एव कारकं किं तर्हि व्यवस्थिते द्रव्ये विद्यमाना क्रिया अविद्यमाना क्रिया उत्पद्यते विद्यमाना च विनश्यति शुद्धं द्रव्यं शक्तिमत् अवतिष्ठते इति एवम् आहुः काणादाः तदेव च कारकम् इति अस्मिन् पक्षे कः दोषः इति. अथ तृतीयोऽपि पक्षः. Now the third paksha. First and second paksha were told earlier. The first paksha was accepted by some philosophers, and the second paksha is accepted by some other philosophers. In both these pakshas, karma cannot be given up completely. But then the third paksha, according to him, the karma can be given up completely. That paksha is being explained. Atha tritiyopi paksha. Atha, now, atha indicates the distinction of the third paksha from the other two pakshas. Tritiyaha paksha. There is a third paksha. What is it? It is the paksha of Vaisheshika, Kanada, or Vaisheshika paksha. Kanada is the founder of Vaisheshika school of philosophy. Therefore, he is called, this paksha is called Kanada, Kanada paksha. Since it is founded by Kanada, it is called Kanada paksha. According to this paksha, there are various dravyas. They talk about 9 dravyas, Navadravyani. Among them, Atma is one dravya. The 5 elements are dravyas: Prithvi, Jala, Agni, Vayu, Akasha. 5. Plus there are 4 others: Kala, Dik, Atma, and Manas. 5 elements plus Kala, time, Dik, directions, Atma, and Manas. These are the dravyas. Manas is a separate dravya for them. So there are 9 dravyas. Among them, Atma is one dravya. In dravya, guna and kriya, they exist in samavaya sambandha. They talk about various sambandhas. The Vaisheshika study sambandha, various relations. One sambandha is sanyoga sambandha, which I have discussed earlier. Another sambandha is called samavaya sambandha. I think we have discussed this. Now, in the dravya, the kriya, action, originates in samavaya sambandha. Kriya dravye samavaya sambandhena tishtati. Dravye kriya samavaya sambandhena tishtati. And the kriya need not exist always in the dravya. Kriya can originate and it can disappear after some time. That is his philosophy. See, yada karoti, when somebody does something, yada karoti, tada sakriyam vastu, then the vastu, the dravya is sakriya. Kriyaya saha vartate iti sakriyam. The dravya becomes sakriya at that time. Yada na karoti, when somebody does not do anything, tada nishkriyam vastu tadeva, then tadeva vastu, the same dravya becomes nishkriya. Tatra evam sati, when it is so, karma asheshatah tyaktum shakyam, it is possible to give up karma completely. Ayantu asmin tratiye pakshe visheshaha, in what way this paksha is different from the previous two pakshas, the Purva Pakshi explains. Ayam tu, this is the Vishesha, is the distinction, the speciality of the Tritiya Paksha with respect to the previous two Pakshas. This is the speciality of Tritiya Paksha. What? In this Paksha, na nitya prachalitam vastu. See, in the first Paksha, vastu is nitya prachalita. Everything is always active. Vastu nitya prachalitam na. But in this paksha, dravyas are not always active. Napi kriya eva karakam. Unlike the second paksha, kriya eva karakam na bhavati. Action itself is not the factors of action. Action itself is not the doer, unlike the Buddhas. For the Buddhas, action itself is the doer. Then, kim tarhi, then what? Vyavasthite dravye. The dravya is vyavasthita. Dravya is steady in itself. Irrespective of the coming or going of action, the dravya does not change. Vyavasthite dravye. In a dravya which is steady in its nature. Avidyamana kriya utpadyate. Kriya utpadyate. The kriya originates. What kind of kriya? Which was not there before. A non-existent action originates, comes into being in a dravya, which is already there. Vidyamana cha vinashyati. And after some time, the kriya which is vidyamana, the action which is already present, vinashyati, it disappears. It becomes a non-existent. According to them, vinashyati means it becomes a non-existent. A non-existing action becomes existent. And the existent action becomes a non-existent. Despite the dravya remaining as it is. Shuddham dravyam. Dravya by itself is Shuddha. Shuddha means free from action. Action is not the nature of Dravya. In that sense, it is Shuddha. Shuddham Dravyam Shaktimat, but it has the Shakti of action. It has the power to have action. Avatishthate, that Dravya Avatishthate remains. Ityevam ahuhu Karnadaha. The Karnadas, Vaisheshikas, they say so. This is their contention. Tadeva chakarakam iti, and tadeva means that dravya in which the action originates. It is called karakam. It is the factor of action. It becomes a karta, etc. This is the Karnada Paksha. Now, Purvapakshi asks, Asmin Pakshe ko doshaha iti. What is the flaw in this Paksha? There is no flaw in this Paksha, Purvapakshi says. This is a correct Paksha. The other two may be wrong, but this seems to be correct. There does not seem to be any problem in this Paksha. If any layman reads this, there is no problem because everything that has been told is correct only. Yeah. Yeah, while presenting the same Purvapakshi is presenting, but uh, when he is presenting, first he presented two other views, and then he is presenting the third view, which perhaps is his own view. You can take that way. Yeah. Asmin pakshe ko doshaha iti. So one person is presenting the three views. It is like an advocate presenting the view of his client. Then Siddhanti begins. Ayam tu doshaha yatastu abhagavatam matam idam. Yeah. This is the dosha in this view, in the view of Karnada. This is the dosha. This is the problem. This is the flaw. What? Abhagavatam matam idam. This view is not in accordance with the vision of Bhagavan, the teaching of Bhagavan. Bhagavatam means Bhagavata Proktam Bhagavatam. The vision taught by Bhagavan is called Bhagavatam. Here Bhagavatam does not refer to the Purana. Bhagavatam refers to the teaching of Bhagavad Gita, the teaching of Krishna. This matam is abhagavatam. It is not in accordance with the teaching of Bhagavan. Siddhanti said. Then Purvapakshi asks again, Katham jnayate? How do you know that this is not Bhagavan's mata? This mata is not acceptable to Bhagavan. How do you know? Bhashya. Yataha aha Bhagavan नासतो विद्यते भावः इत्यादि काणादानां हि असतो भावः सतश्च अभावः इति इदं मतम् यतः आह भगवान Siddhanti is saying Bhagavan says Nasato vidyate bhavaha ityadi. Asat means a non-existent cannot come into being. Asataha bhavaha na vidyate. A non-existent cannot come into being, and a bhava, an existing thing, cannot become non-existent either. This was told in Adhyaya 2 itself by Bhagawad. But Kanada, for Kanada, the non-existent thing can come into being, according to Kanada. That is what he said. Avidyamana kriya utpadyate. The kriya which was not there before comes into being. Kanadanam hi Kanadanam matam. According to Kanada, asataha bhavaha, the non-existent comes into being, and satashta abhavaha, the existent one becomes non-existent. Iti idam matam, it is their view. Therefore, it is not in accordance with Bhagavan's teaching. Here, we should note regarding the effect, how an effect comes into being. There are various views. Mainly, there are three views. The first view is called Arambhavada. Arambhavadaha kshanabhakshapakshaha. Arambhavada is the view of Kanada, Kanabhakshapakshaha. It is the view of Kanada. Arambhavada means before the origin, the effect does not exist. Let us take an example. Pot. Before the manufacturing of pot was non-existent. There is only non-existence of pot, or pot is non-existent. When the pot is manufactured, it becomes existent. A non-existent pot becomes existent during its origin. That is the origin of a pot, according to Arambhavada. Such view is called Arambhavada. Second view is called Parinamavada. Parinamavada is accepted by Sankhya. Sankhya's view is Parinamavada. According to Parinamavada, the pot was not non-existent before its origin. Even before its origin, the pot existed in clay, in potential form, in an unmanifest form. In the clay, the pot is there in an unmanifest form. But then there is a parinama, a modification. Modification is nothing but a manifestation of the pot which was potentially there. So, according to Parinamavada, a pot which was potentially there even before the origin manifests. Abhivyakti. It becomes abhivyakta. Such view is called Parinamavada. Now, Vedanti refutes Arambhavada. Arambhavada is not logically correct. Bhashyakara is going to show how Arambhavada is not logically acceptable. To state in brief, a non existent object cannot come into being. Something which does not exist cannot become existent. For example, Vandhyaputra, son of a woman who does not have children. Vandhyaputra does not exist. Therefore, you cannot say Vandhyaputra manifested here or Vandhyaputra will manifest here tomorrow. It is not possible. So, it is illogical to say that a non existent thing gets existence. Therefore, Arambhavada is logically incorrect. This will be discussed in detail. Then there is Parinamavada. Okay, the pot existed in potential form, then it manifests. Can we accept Parinamavada? If you ask this, to some extent, as far as we have to explain the universe, to some extent we make use of Parinamavada in Vedanta. But if you probe into Parinamavada also, even Parinamavada has many logical fallacies. Even Parinamavada is logically not acceptable. If you analyze it with a closer look, even Parinamavada fails to withstand logics. In this book, in Bhagavad Gita Bhashya, it is told in brief. There are other places where Parinamavada also is refuted. In Brahma Sutra Bhashya, etc. Even Parinamavada is negated. Then what is the correct view? The Vedanta holds on to Vivartavada. Vivartavada means there is nothing called effect. The effect is only projected by avidya, projected by maya on the Brahman. The Brahman alone is real, and the Brahman alone, on account of maya, appears as the effect. It is called Vivartavad. The effect is not arambha, means effect is not produced, a non-existent effect does not come into being. And also effect is not parinama, it is not a modification of the cause. Even that fails. Then what is the effect? If effect is not something which has come into being, and if the effect is not something which has come into, which effect is not something which is a modification of the cause, then what is the effect? Then Siddhanti, the Vedanti makes us understand that the phenomenon of the origin of an effect cannot be logically explained. The phenomenon of the origin of an effect cannot be logically explained. It does not have a logical explanation. When something does not have a logical explanation, we have to take refuge at only one thing, that is Maya. Aghatita ghatana patiyasi Maya. Therefore, finally we arrive at the Vivartavad. There is nothing really called effect. The effect is only a projection of the Maya cause on Brahman. This is going to be the culmination of this discussion. So, Arambhavada and Parinamavada, both Vadas are going to be dismissed to arrive at Vivartavada. These Vadas are elaborately discussed in other Vedanta texts, some higher texts of Vedanta like Sankshepa Sharirakam or this Panchapadika Vivaranam, etc. They take up these discussions to a great detail. Let's stop here. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.